Hello, my friends. How we doing? I know we're a little behind. It's been 9 days since episode 10.
You've been sick.
Yeah, everybody's been a little sick.
Allergies.
Probably flu, pneumonia, hacking their heads off, coughed up a lung too
Just
here.
mucus.
Just mucus.
It's gross.
So we're on the verge of ending chapter 2, the Dreamaker. This is the last. This is going to be into chapter 2 on the dream of my story through poetry. We're going to go into chapter 3. Episode 12 starts chapter 3, which is going to be Mind of the Imaginator. So this Dreamaker. This is the last of Dreamaker, episode 11 here. Episode 12 will start chapter 3, Mind of the Imaginator. So we'll go from here to Mind of the Imaginator, and that'll be chapter 3. Okay? So that's just in case you're curious as to what's fixing to happen here. We're fixing to do another transition from Dreamaker to Mind of the Imaginator. Of course, in episode 12, I will also put Dreamaker / Mind of the Imaginator to make you aware of the transition. That'd be chapter 3. That's how we're doing. That's how I'm doing this. I, the Imaginator, was chapter 1. They composed of 6 episodes. Chapter 2 was Dreamaker. That's going to be, I think it's going to end up being 5 episodes instead of 6. That's okay, though, because I'm out of space. Then episode 12 will start chapter 3, Mind of the Imaginator. So we're moving right along here. Almost done with the first notebook that I handwritten. I've got another 3. I have another one written here. We'll be starting this one soon. This is the blue one. This will be after chapter. We'll start chapter 4 with this one.
None of those are empty pages, by the way.
Yeah, these are all full pages. All of them are handwritten. And then I got a white folder, which is here. And these are not handwritten. So when we get to this point here, it's going to be ad lib, because I got nothing written to explain what's going on. So I'll have to review it and go over it. Remember where I was at and what's going on. And what's happening.
Kind of like flashlight. Flashlight.
Yeah, we'll have to. That's going to be.
Almost said something weird.
that's going to be the last of them. When we get to that point there.
It'd be a flashback.
We're
like
almost.
A video game.
We're almost done with this one here. That's the red one. We're got that much left over here. So, like I said, there's going to be an ending. The eventual ending, because at one point, at a certain time, I eventually. Excuse me, I'll stop writing poetry. I kind of get away from poetry for a little bit. 2013, 2014, I think was the last poem I wrote, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that poem here in a while. But something you'll kind of figure out what happened as why I stopped writing so much. I was I'll wait till we get there, and you'll kind of figure it out. But anyway, let's get on with episode 11 here. The camping trips were fun. They were exciting. Really enjoyable part of my middle teen and late teen years. But they were soon come to a close, as with the Happy Acre Gang Clan did. The camping trips would eventually come to a close, with my grandparents and my uncles and aunt and my cousin Greg and Marcia. There's another funny incident though that happened on one of our camping trips. It was with my grandpa Rowan. We we're in the boat, of course, like we always do. Going to the lake, throwing down, fishing for crappie, and he got up to net one of Pancho's fish, and when he sat down on a jig.
I've done that. It hurts.
Well, he didn't even know he sat down on the jig. He didn't realize it was there. He sat down, and we got back to shore. He went to get up, and of course Greg was Greg was on the bank, and he went to pull us in. And when Grandpa got up, the jig was still stuck to his butt.
That's fine.
So we
Caught a bumfish, huh?
So we caught a grantfish.
I call it the bumfish.
Bumfish. Caught a bumfish. And then we started calling him Jig Butt.
Big butt.
Grandpa, he took it in stride. He took it in stride. He had no problem with it, but he thought it was kind of funny. Of course, a few weeks later, we tried to reenact the Jig Butt incident. We was at a gathering. It was a family gathering at Grandma and Grandpa's house and he was going out to sit on the chair, and me and Greg shoved a jig in his seat as he was sitting down. And of course, it didn't stick this time. It was like, damn. Because he wanted it to stick. It did stick. It didn't stick. So, and of course, that's not the only thing we did. We would have music battles where we all sit together. Me, Greg, and Marcia would sit around, and we would pick about 4 or 5 songs out that we liked, and we'd play our songs to each other, and the two people that listened to the song would take votes on the song, and the person with the highest point total would win. I never won the music battles because my songs were
old.
Well, they were different. I like my taste in music was a little bit different than Greg and Marcia's taste.
I know the difference. It was old.
No, it wasn't old. But I did win one, however. The one song I won on was a song by a group called Canine Posse.
What was it?
Say Who, Say What was the title of the song.
I don't know that one actually.
And the song had a repetitive say who, say what, say who, say what, so who, say what. That's all it did. And then they'd go on and they'd tell about a fight that's going to happen, but they didn't want to fight, so they brought out weapons, but they didn't want to use the weapons. So then they wanted to fight, but they didn't want to fight. So it was a say who, say what kind of crap. That's what the whole song was about. Everybody wants to go to fisticuffs, but nobody wants to go to fisticuffs.
No one wants to throw the first.
Everybody brings their guns and stuff in it, but nobody wants to pull the guns out and use it. So who say what? And we were sitting on the porch, and I played that, and we played Greg's song, we played Marcia's song. It was down to the last song when I was doing horribly, and I had the lowest score as always. I had the lowest score, but as soon as I played that, the battle was over. I won just because of the context of the song. So it was at Thanksgiving dinner. So we're walking into the house saying, who say what, say who say what, so who say, and everybody was looking, what the hell you guys are talking about? You guys are lost your minds. But yeah, it's the only song battle I won because of that one particular song, the Canine Posse. And of course, they only had 2 albums, so nobody really knows who they are. They only had like 2 or 3 albums that they put out. They weren't very popular. But that song just caught him off guard. It was just, where the hell did this come from? You know? Like I said, all good times come to an end. And it was winding down. It was getting older. Everybody was fixing to graduate. And high school and go different directions. But it's not quite dead yet. It's getting there. It's starting to wind down a little bit. Of course, I'm staying with my dad still, and of course, me and Sherry, we're in the house together. We're fighting, and one time I just got so. She'd bring her friends over, and I flirt with her friends a little bit. Because I got nothing better to do. I'd flirt with friends.
They were pretty.
Because they were pretty, and I'm a guy. I'm a teenager. My hormones are racing. Of course, I don't have anybody yet. I'm a free loafer. Not a free loafer, but
at the time. You have a wife now.
At the time, I was just roaming around, playing the gigolo part. One of her friends came over and spent the night with us, and I teased and flirted with her all night. She saw me at the movie theaters, jumped up in my arms, gave me a hug. That was the last time I saw her, though. But even though we had some fun spots, we still had our fights. And one of them really she really pushed my buttons. I mean, she really pushed my buttons and pushed them hard. To the point I was enraged. And I picked up a glass candle and I threw it in her direction. I threw to purposely miss. I purposely wanted to miss, but I just wanted to get her attention. And I missed her head by that much. I made a hole in the wall beside her head.
Bet that scared her.
Oh yeah, it scared the shit out of her. She wouldn't admit it, but she was just like this right, because she knew that was going to hit her up between the eyes. But I threw it off to the side on purpose, and I purposely missed her. I was pretty good aim, but to piss me off to the point where I'm going to throw something at you to shut you up. That's really pushing someone to the brink.
Yeah.
But and after that, my dad, he finally I had enough. He was finally he thought I was gonna kill her. I'm not gonna kill her. Like I said, I missed on purpose. I purposely missed. I just wanted to get her attention, and it did shut her up. It shut her up immediately. But it's kind of sad that it had to come to that, to shut her up, because she wasn't going to shut up. She's just going to keep going until I hit her. I just wanted her to shut up. So I had to go live with my grandma. I go live with my grandma and grandpa. In my room. Of course, my room's always my room. When I'm there on the weekends, that's my room. And this was the first time I had to go live with them, officially. I had to officially live with them, and they welcomed me in. I moved all my stuff over to there, set it up in my room, and that's where I would stay most of my young adult life, from 18 to about 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. I was in and out, granted, but I wasn't always there. I'd go here for about 3 to 6 months, then come back, go over to live over here for about 3 to 6 months, and then come back. But that room is always mine. It's always there for me. And Grandma made sure of that. Made sure no one goes in there when I'm not there. That was, like I said, that was my freaking room. Nobody was allowed. Now, I wrote 2 forums about this incident coming up. I'm going to write the aftermath of it pretty much. So this is all crammed up. This the next poem that we're fixing to read about. And this fight I got into got me suspended for 5 days. Yeah. I ended up got in a fight with this kid. And him and his buddy sat in front of me in computer class. So we were doing a shorthand class. I was learning how to do shorthand. I was just taking something to get some credits for my so I can graduate. So I was just in there to just buy time, get some credit. And they, for some reason, they just wanted to harass me. And they kept on. They kept on. They kept on. They kept on. They even wanted to meet out at one of the parks and just have it out. Have a knockdown drag out, have a fight. But one day he decided to stand up, turn around, face me, come around the desk and say, "You want to now swing?" He took a swing. I dodged, pushed him back, took my watch off. Yeah, I had time to take my watch off. That's how hard I pushed him back.
He has big arms. Daddy has big arms.
After I took my watch off, he came at me again. I just tore into him. I took and shoved him, hit him, punched him, and I turned him around and started hitting his head off the typewriters.
Typing your essay with his face?
That's pretty much what I did. I bounced his head off a few typewriters. Come to find out, this guy had a messed up hand, so he had full use of one arm, and he had use of the other arm, but he didn't have full use of it. I didn't know that. He didn't tell me. He just thought his left hand was going to knock my block off. But you swing at me, and you're a guy. I'm sorry, I'm not. You should have known better. And I started bouncing his head off typewriters, shoved him to the chairs, pushed him around the room. Finally got him on the floor. He finally tripped and stumbled on the floor. And his other friend that was kind of a instigator finally stood and said, dude, he's had enough, dude. I said, "You want some too? I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you what I'm giving him." He said, "I don't want to fight, dude. I really don't. I'm not here to fight you. I just want you to just back off of him. You've made your point.
You beat the shit out of him.
You beat the shit out of him. You're done. He's done."
His face is now imprinted with letters.
And one of the girls in there says, "Oh, you're so bad." Well, he swung at me, so you can get over yourself. Don't swing at my head. Don't punch me. Don't come at me. I will go after you.
That's when you go into those stamps.
And that's where like I said, I didn't know the one of his hands was a little messed up. I didn't know. I had no idea. And so they deemed me demented. Yeah, I found out after I graduated that they thought I was demented because if I go off on someone like him, what would I do to someone? What would
he try to punch you?
What kind of person am I? It is what it is. I mean,
Talk about one side of the story right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much one side of the story. The true
stamps.
side of the story I didn't know about his handicap and was on his right arm.
You know that girl though? That's real bad. That's when you get one of those stamps and make your own and print stupid on her forehead.
Yeah, I thought about it, but it was a small graduate. That graduate class was only 48. It was Benton Hunter Grove, what I had to go to. Bryan High School was where I wanted to finish off, and they had a graduating class of near 500. It was close to 500. It was pretty sizable graduating class, like 350 to 400 students or better. Senior class. I scared some shit. I scared some students over there too. I had about a group of kids that were harassing me at a lunch table one time, and when I was over there, and they were harassing me. They were picking at me. It was right next to the table right across from where I was sitting. And so I let it boil for a week. I let it boil. That's what I do. I let it boil. I let you pick at me. I let you boil at me, and until I get tired of messing with it. Then I'll do something about it. And I scared the holy shit out of him. I did. He was sitting there. All four of his buddies. They were sitting there, and they looked at me. "You say you got a problem, dude?" And by this time, I was incensed, and I jumped up, and I was like I teleported from my table all the way over to their table.
Bitch, what you say?
And all four of them jumped from their chairs and tripped over 3-4 of the chairs trying to get away from me. Scared the holy crap out of them. They had no idea I could move that fast. They tripped over 4 or 5
Well, you
chairs.
played football.
Well, I did. Yeah, I was in the athletic area, so I was kind of built. So I had some muscles on me. So, and they didn't think I'd react that way. They didn't think I'd come out of that like that. But when I did, they jumped. They said, "We don't want to fight you,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
We don't we don't want to fight you." All right. And the next day, the lunch table, they were 2 tables over. They were now sitting 4 tables away from me.
By the exit.
And one of the girls says, "Why you sitting over here? Were you afraid of that dude or something?" Yeah, even when they were called out on it, just like they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't, and they didn't even bother looking at me. I made my point clear
Don't
without
make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
No, they didn't. I made my point clear without one hit, without one lick. I made my point clear. Of course, I got paddled for it.
Why? All you did was move.
All I did was move, but the principal saw it and he thought I hit him or something. And I told him what happened. And he said, at first I wasn't going to talk. I was just mad. I was mad. I was pissed off. And but after that, they were really edgy about being around me. Even when I followed one of them to the restroom, without realizing I was following a certain person, he knew who I was. He was like looking over his shoulder.
He's going to kill me.
then he zipped up and walked out the restroom.
You ran?
I was just sitting away from my turn. He didn't look at me. He just kind of.
That's why you just stand behind them when he's taking the pee and just go like this.
But anyway, when I got back from my suspension after this one fight, there's another point about the fight, about the confrontation I had with him. But this one here is called All Crammed Up. The reason it's called All Crammed Up, when I got back from my suspension, I had a test I was supposed to take. And it was getting close to the end of the year. Or, of course, close to the end of that semester. Not the end of the year, but close to the end of that semester. And if I didn't take the test, I was going to fail the class, and I probably wouldn't have got my diploma. So I had to get a decent grade of a C or better, so I could pass that class. Because after being suspended for 5 days, I lost all those credits and all those points. But I didn't miss out on the test, so I got back just in time to take the test. I passed the test, by the way, in one night's study. I had no idea where to go, no idea what to study. I just opened the book and read the chapter, studied the chapter, and then took the test the next day. Usually you study a chapter about 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I had 1 day.
It just goes to show that muscle and brains can go together.
So, I got a C on the test, and I got a C plus for the semester in that class. So I was able to maintain my direction toward my diploma. So this is a poem, All Crammed Up. It's taking that test.
All crammed up.
One day, and one day only, I had. Study and study hard, I had. Be there or be square. If I weren't, I wouldn't dare. I had to take it. I couldn't miss it. A test in 1 day's study? Oh boy, I needed a buddy. Hey, I took the test. All crammed up. I did my best. And of course, like I said, I got a C.
Which is better than a D and an F. To pass
I got a C on that test. Of course, we're getting close to the end of this episode. I was bored in study hall, as I always am.
Study hall is always boring.
It's always boring. That's when I wrote most of my poems.
Unless your friends in there with you.
If I didn't have homework to study for, I wrote poems.
Yeah, unless your friends in there with you, it's always boring. But then you get set at attention for misbehaving in study hall.
But on this episode of my poems, my thought process will be that I would take the student up to the science room and show off the project. That would be seen as the dream state. And you would walk into this Dreamaker, and you would go to an alternate world. And so, Dreamaker came out of this thought process. Of course, you would go to this. You would, like I said, you would go into the alternate world, but then you would have to come back and go to the next class. So that's how the thought process worked. Once I study hall, I went to a dream state, came back at the end of study hall, went to my next class. That's how Dreamaker was created.
It's the name of a video game.
Well, wait till you hear the point. The Dreamaker. Wow, neat. How slick, exciting. A Dreamaker that does neat things. I've got it up room 203. Come on, I'll show it to you. Cool. It looks like a giant, encompassed with all sorts of gadgets. An extremely radical type machine. The best thing a dreamer could want. It works like this. Here, sit inside it. Pull the curtain back a little first. Sit in the red seat. Repulsive, huh? Don't worry. Put the helmet on, turn, flip the switch. Sit back, relax a little, and close your eyes. You start dreaming, and you're really there. Now hit the thruster, and you're in dreamland, having a gay old time with your dream. Now hit the big red button, and back into reality you will return. Sorry, that's only a temporary flux. We have a test next period. Pitiful, huh?
For your information, viewers, gay means happy, or it used to be.
Yeah, and gay old, we say a gay old time back in the old days.
And that happy old time.
Gay old time means you're having a good time. You're happy, you're excited, you're full of joy, yada yada yada.
A lot of the cuss words and slurs today usually mean different things.
As you can hear my nose, I'm snuffing. I'm still,
Snuffing.
I'm snuffleupagus, and he's sniffing bored.
I'm snuffleupagus, okay?
Sniffing board. That's the best I can come up with. Sorry. Anyway, well, like I said, I wrote 2 points about the fight. And the first point was all crammed up with the aftermath. And of course, I talked to you about what led up to it. And of course, yeah. Originally, he wanted to meet somewhere, and at the park, the schoolyard, not the schoolyard park, but the playground somewhere, one of the local
park, the city park.
Yeah, the city park, yeah. And we were supposed to fight there, but of course I never got to that point.
Because you printed an essay with his face.
Yeah, because I felt like, I needed an essay, and I needed to use his head to top story with. Anyway, like I said before, when I was younger, elementary and middle school, I got into a lot of fights. But as I got older, when I had 7th grade, when I fought that 9th grader, and I held my ground with him, toughest kid in school, and my fights got few and far in between. But after that, and this is one of the very few fights I had in high school, and I had in junior high and high school. Because, like I said, I got to the point where I was able to, I had some muscle on me, and I had some build on me, and 1 or 2 fights, and that was pretty much it. Everybody stayed the hell away from me, because they realized I didn't take shit from nobody. I wasn't someone to pick on. I even had a kid named Spencer over in Bryant High School. He spread the rumor around that kid, boy, that Monroe, they don't want to fuck with him. He's a tough dude. He's crazy. Leave him alone. Just leave him alone. You leave him alone, he'll leave you alone. He was sort of like my what's that dude's name in Dungeons and Dragons? and tell stories.
Bard?
A bard. He was sort
Bard does tell stories.
He was sort of like
name for
he
it.
was sort of like my bard. he would tell stories about me, how crazy and how insane and lunatic and
There's a specific name for it.
yeah, but yeah, there's a specific name for it. But they'll get the idea. He was sort of like my the person that spread the rumor that you don't mess with that boy. He don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. He'll knock your block off. He'll mess you up. Yada yada yada. And of course, there was those few that wanted to try,
and get knocked into knock.
and of course they realized that it was not a cakewalk, and I wasn't going to bend over for them. And like I said, they got forward in between.
Didn't you do some of this stuff with ingrown toenails?
Yeah, I played football and sports with infected ingrown toenails. I played football. I would have to kick the football with the side of my foot.
Because your parents wouldn't take care of their feet?
Well, they apparently they didn't have insurance to afford a doctor, and finally got to the point my toes got so big, so infected, they had to go to the doctor. And what happened, I got 9 shots in my left toe, 12 shots in my right toe, just to deaden it. And what they did, they went in there and pulled the skin back on my right toe. Yes, they pulled the skin back, and then got a scraper. After they deadened it and scraped all the they could feel them scraping the bone.
That felt weird.
Oh, they did. I could feel them scraping the bone. I couldn't feel the pain from it, but I felt them scraping the bone. All the dead tissue. Then they pulled the skin back and stitched it back together and wait.
Yeah, he now has ogre toes.
Yeah, I have a square toe now.
Like, it was funny. You needed help because his back was hurting this morning. I had to clip his help him with his toenail because his back was hurting because he hurt his back. And I'm like, this one went to the market. This one went to Chernobyl.
This one went to Chernobyl. And I got a Chernobyl toe. I got one toe to put straight up.
He's like, whack.
And he couldn't clip. It's hard to clip. But yeah, and I stayed up most of the night that night too in pain. I took, out of a bottle of pain pills, I took 4 pain pills. When the feeling got back in my toe, I took 4 pain pills before I was able to go to sleep and knock me out. But after that initial night, it was okay. I just had to sit in my class and had to have the desk in front of me empty so I'd elevate my foot while I'm nursing my injured toe, the operated on toe. Other than my ingrown toenail, the operation I had, and a fractured wrist, fractured arm. I broke my arm right here, right down here.
I can't believe I have not broken a bone yet.
Well, it wasn't broken. I was wrestling when I was a kid, and they threw me back on the floor and I fell backward. I went to catch myself in the right arm, and it went. And of course, my mom wrapped it up and put me to sleep. Because she thought I just bruised it or something. And then in the morning, it was kind of swollen. So she finally took me to the doctor, and come to find out it was a compound fracture. And I had to go to the doctor. Other than the compound fracture and the hole in my wrist, when I told you about that, right? Where I tripped over a mud puddle and came down and pulled my nerves out. I almost cut my wrist.
What about the knife in your head?
Yeah, my sister tried to kill me once. She threw a knife up in the air.
Like a dumbass.
And where's it going to land? Boom, hit right instead of my head and bounced out.
Where it would land.
It went that far in my head, by the way. Went that far in my head and bounced out. And I can pull brain mucus off my head because it penetrated my skull.
Yeah, we've all done dumbass things.
And my sister thought she done killed my ass.
She also tried to kill me with a rock.
Might explain what's wrong with me.
She tried to kill me with a rock one time.
Yeah, tried to kill me with a rock. Threw a rock. That was on the lawnmower. And then she threw a rock at me. And she was trying to miss me. She was just trying to throw rocks on the lawnmower and hit me in the temple from a long distance. Because it had plenty of time to catch up speed. And she said that lawnmower came up above my head. And then slammed to the ground. And she said, "Oh, shit." And she ran inside. She ran inside the house and locked herself in until Mama got home. She was not going to allow me into that house because she knew she would have died. So yeah, but
We all make dumbass mistakes. I made mine.
Yeah, well, you're kids. You do stupid shit as kids.
I cut my head open. I almost killed my family with fireworks at one time. That was fun.
Yeah, shot bottle rockets at everybody. Yeah,
it was one of those missile fireworks that knocked it over and went
knocked the missile launcher over and started shooting missiles at everybody.
The funniest part is everyone wanted me to do it again.
And they said, do it again. I said, no, you don't do it again. Well, getting back to the point, yeah, that's some funny stories.
We all made our dumbass mistakes.
That's kids.
Me and I have broken multiple doors.
Broken multiple computers.
That was the dog's fault.
My God, I had to replace 4 laptop computers in a matter of 2 months.
That dog was fat and heavy, okay? I tripped. I tried to lift my foot up, it was like an anchor. It's like...
Anyway, this is the almost second of 2 poems I wrote about the fight. This was actually called The Fight. On a Monday, it began. The boiling point was hit. Tuesday, I was so angry, I just glared at my foe. I ignored his remark. I stared him down. Wednesday came to pass. I mocked him. I meditated. Thursday, the time of truth. I waited till 5 that afternoon. We stood and stared at each other in the eye, within motion towards each other. We swung at each other, and the fight began. And in the end, only one will stand. And with that, we will end Chapter 3, Dreamaker. Again, I'll remind you, Chapter 2, my bad, Chapter 2, Dreamaker. We'll end Chapter 2, and we will start Chapter 3 with Episode 12, which will be Mind of the Imaginator. Mind of the Imaginator will be start the Chapter 3, Episode 12, so look forward to seeing that. Look forward to sharing it with you. I noticed I've gotten a few more followers, so I hope you enjoy the stories. I hope more and more of you begin to listen to them and begin to share them with your friends. I would appreciate the support. And again, thank you for your support for the few that I do have. Maybe one day I'll expand a little bit more. Of course, I don't know really what I'm doing, so this is all new to me. Doing this YouTube stuff, I don't have the technology or the skills or the know-how to. I have the technology, I just don't have the know-how to do all the editing and all the other stuff that goes along with doing backgrounds and stuff. But that's okay, it is what it is, and this is just my chance to get my story out and have my story heard. Of course, like I said, there will be an ending. So, with that being said, until next time, take care of yourselves and be well.